Okay, starting off, I'm going to demonstrate how to create a virtual machine in Hyper-V. So this is the Hyper-V Manager console, and this is my Hyper-V machine. And on the right-hand corner of the screen, I see the new option, or I could just right-click here and I could say New Virtual Machine. Either ways is fine. So I'm going to click on New here, Virtual Machine, and click on Next. Let me give a name to the virtual machine, and this first machine is going to be my domain controller. So I'm going to name it the DC, and I can choose to store the virtual machine in a different location than what's specified here. So the location that I've chosen is h:/hyper-v/vm. I will leave it default. I'm not going to change the location, and I will click on Next. And here I have two options: one, generation 1, generation 2. It's all better that you leave it as generation 2, which gives you advanced features. So I'm going in for generation 2 at this moment, and I will click on Next. And let me assign some memory to this, So let me give it something like 20482 GB of RAM. If you have less memory, you can go for less memory. DC would generally suffice 1024, that's 1 GB. And I'm going to click on Next to this, and where it says networking, I want this to connect to the production V switch, so I will leave it as the production V switch, and I'm going to click on Next to this, and it's going to ask me to create a virtual hard disk. Leave it default. As you can see, the hard disk format is VHDX, and that's the format that was released in Windows Server 2012. And I'll leave the size as 127 GB. With VHDX, you get a maximum size of 64 TB, and we can leave it default, and we click on Next. And then it says, do you want to install an operating system? Yes, I do want it to install an operating system. Now, in our lab, the operating system that we are going to use is Windows Server 2016. So let me give the path to the file, the Windows Server 2016 ISO file, and I click on Next to this, and I click on Finish. And here's my DC VM that's created in Hyper-V. So here is my VM that's created, and now I'm going to proceed to install the operating system on this VM. So I'm going to right click on this, click on Start, and I'm going to right click on Connect. So here is the install process for Windows Server 2016. I'm going to leave all the options default, as I don't need to change any one. And I'm going to click on Next to this. I have an option called Install Now, or in a situation where my computer is not booting up, I have an option to repair the computer. But I'm not going to do that now, but I'm going to click on Install Now. Alright, it gives me an option for a standard installation or a data center installation. Now, I can choose standard, or I can choose data center, and also I can choose the server core edition or desktop experience. So you see the one which says desktop experience. This is where it's going to install the GUI edition of Windows Server 2016. If you choose the one that's default here, without the one which says desktop experience, that means it's going to install a server core edition, right? As it mentions out here, it does not include the GUI. So I'm going here for the standard evaluation edition, right? And I'm going to click on Next to this. I will accept the license terms and agreements, and I'm going to do a custom install. I'm going to choose a whole drive space for C. I'm not going to change anything, and I will click on Next to it. And that's it. So here completes the installation of Windows Server 2016 on Hyper-V. I'm going to see you on the other side. Install Active Directory, and also join a computer to the domain.